Hi everyone, and welcome back to another tutorial. So in this tutorial, I'm going to share with you my method of creating this uniform scaling tool so that you don't have to enter 3 different numbers just to change the scale of an object. You can just adjust it with one number. Okay, and you can see we're using a Python tag, and there's not a lot of code. In fact, there's just a few lines as you can see over there. This allows you to just change one number and it will affect the scale of the object uniformly. So let's get started on how we can create this. Okay, I'm first going to delete this tag and let's start again. So typically, when you want to do some adjustment with the scale, besides using the scale tool as you can see to adjust the object size over here, let me undo that. If you want to do some animation, you know you have to keyframe the scale values, but you may have found it quite tedious to adjust the 3 numbers. If let's say I want to bring it to half scale, I need to type 0.5, type 0.5, and 0.5. I'm not sure if there is actually a uniform scale option in Cinema 4D, but I don't think I've seen it so far. So in any case, I decided to write one myself and just use a Python tag, and this Python tag can also be reused. So let's get started. Let me reset that back to 0. We will right click on our object. We will add a programming tag and Python tag. Okay, once you have added the Python tag, we are going to type our code over here. So what I would do is I will first remove this tag. Okay, I do not need that. And you can see that the first line it says import C4D. This is to give us some commands that C4D will use for this Python tag. Okay, then after that we'll be writing our main function over here. And currently we have this pass option here, which I don't need. So I'm just going to remove that. So we'll be left with these 2 lines. So we won't touch the import C4D because that's needed. So the first thing I want to do is to get the object that this Python tag is being applied to. Okay, currently whatever you write over here, we need to reference back to this object. So I will just write a variable to hold my object. So I'll just call it my object, my obj. And to call this object, I need to type an operator. So OP for operator. Then dot, and we'll use this function called getObject. So get obj get object and open and close bracket. So this code will tell this object to get the object that this Python tag is being applied to, and in this case is to get my cup over here. Right, so next one, I'm going to get my X scale. Okay, because I want to use my X scale to control the other 2 scale, Y and Z as well. So I just need to get that single number. So in this case, it's this one. I want to get this number. So I got my object. Now I'm going to get the scale of my object. Okay, let's go back into that. So get the scale. And which scale I'm going to get? Get my object. And I'm going to get the relative scale. So the command is get rel and it's a function. It has to be capital letter G, the R, and the S. But using this, my object dot get relative scale, you'll get all 3 numbers. So you get the X scale, Y scale, and the Z scale. So it's always in that order, and I want to get only the X. So because this is an array, it will give 3 numbers, and to call only the single number or the first number in this case, I need to add a square bracket at the end, and I will put a 0 in the middle. Okay, this is to let you call only the first number of that 3 number array. So next line, I want to say this will be my new scale. New scale. So basically this is just another variable. So this new variable, new scale, will be holding the combined value of my new output scale. In this case, it will be scale X, X, and X. Because X, Y, and Z will be holding the same value. We got the value from the X scale already. Now I just need to put it in a way that the Cinema 4D can understand. So I need to put it back into a vector. So I'll just type new scale equals to C4D dot vector. Okay. So this is a command that you give 3 numbers to Cinema 4D and it will format it in a way that it can understand. So C4D dot vector, and what I'll put inside is an X scale, and X scale. So saying that I'm going to return back my vector, all 3 numbers are the same. Okay, and finally, I'm going to give this back to my object to use as the new scale. I'll say my obj dot set relative scale. And what do I want to set? Okay, I'm going to put open and close bracket there. I want to set my new scale to use this new scale. And basically that's all. So let me just go back to my object. Okay, and if I change the X scale, yes, you can see it works. So it's just as simple as that. We have used X scale to control our Y and Z as well, so we'll get a uniform scale. So the good thing about this is now if I also want to animate, so let's say I'll go from 0, I can add a keyframe over here. I can go to frame 25, add a keyframe of 1, keyframe it. Okay, and if I were to play, it's animating quite uniformly. So this is easier for me because if I want to adjust the F curve, I only have one curve that I need to animate instead of 3. So this will allow me to do some nice easing and it's easier to control in that way. For this Python tag now, we can actually save it as a preset. So I believe in R25 onwards, if you go to the Python tag, you can actually save this as a preset. If I go to my Python tag, click on that, I can save this code as a preset. And they'll ask me, okay, what preset do I want to save it as? I'm going to just type C4D uniform scale. And I will say okay. So now we have that preset saved. Now if I were to go and delete this tag, we delete this animation as well. We no longer have that uniform scale. Okay, then I can go back to my object, right click, go to programming tags, Python tag. Okay, expression editor pops out, I don't need that. Okay, and I go back to my preset, open it up, and you can find C4D uniform scale over there. Click on it, and our code is automatically added back there. Okay, so now if I were to animate, you can see that it works again. So it really is that simple when it comes to creating presets. So if you don't want to type the code yourself, okay, you can also download my preset. I've included this Python preset for free on my Ko-fi page. Okay, just follow the link in the description below. Okay, and let me show you how to use it. So I'm just going to delete this tag again. So when you open up the C4D file, it's just a null object with the tag already applied. Okay, you can see that the code is all there. Okay, what you can do is just copy this object. Okay, then we can go back into our scene and we paste it over here. So we actually don't really need the null object, we just need that tag. So if I take my tag and I bring it down onto my cup object, now we will give it that function to animate the scale uniformly. An alternate way is to merge the object. Just click on merge object and we will find that C4D file. So just import it in and we will get the same thing. And then we can just move that tag onto our object and then we get it. So thanks for watching this tutorial. It is only a short video, but I hope you have learned a lot. You can like this video if you found it helpful. You can also download the project files on my Ko-fi page in the link in the description below. So I'll see you in the next video and bye for now.